Some stories don't end with a goodbye. Some end with a notification that never appears, and a heart that slowly learns to live with the emptiness. My name isn't important, but the truth I'm about to share is. I was 23 when I fell in love with a boy named Liam. A boy who made promises with the same mouth he later used for excuses. A boy whose silence hurt more than any harsh word could. But before the silence, there was a beginning. I met him in early winter, the kind of winter where the sky is the color of faded memories, and everything feels a little lonely. I was at a small bookstore near campus, sitting cross-legged on the floor between two aisles, reading a poetry book I had no intention of buying. I liked hiding in places like that, between stories, behind shelves, beneath people's expectations. That's when I had a soft laugh. You were in my favorite aisle. I looked up and saw him leaning against a bookshelf, wearing a dark green sweater, messy hair, and a smile that looked too kind to be real. He pointed at the book in my hand. That's one of my favorites. I raised a brow. Really? Or are you just saying that because you want to talk to me? He grinned. Both. And just like that, I was disarmed. He sat beside me, right there on the bookstore floor. He smelled like rain and something warm I couldn't name. We talked about our favorite books, our worst fears, and how both of us pretended to be okay more often than we should. When we finally got up, he said, "I'm Liam, by the way. And I really hope this isn't the last time I see you." It wasn't. 2 days later, he found me again, this time at the cafe near my apartment. He sat across from me without asking and said, "You didn't think you could hide from me, did you?" I didn't know then, I didn't know how deeply someone's presence can change your world, or how painfully their absence can destroy it. We started meeting every day. Sometimes for coffee, sometimes for long walks under streetlights, sometimes for the quiet kind of companionship where no words were needed, just the comfort of someone choosing to stay. I wasn't the type to fall fast. I was guarded, careful, slow, but he made falling feel safe. He texted me good morning before the sun even rose. He called me at night just to hear my voice. He listened, really listened, like my thoughts meant something. He took photos of me when I wasn't looking. He held my hand like it was something fragile. He kissed my forehead like a promise he intended to keep. "I'm not going anywhere," he whispered one night as he wrapped his jacket around my shoulders. And I believed him, because when you were 23 and finally feel chosen, you believe things USHOULDNT. Some nights we lay under the stars on the rooftop of his building. I told him how I write letters I never send. He told me he's afraid of losing people he loves. "Then don't lose me," I whispered. He pulled me close and said, "Never." That was the moment I let my guard down. The moment I let love stay. I didn't know then that the same boy who made promises under the stars would later break me with a silence louder than any goodbye. Love doesn't disappear suddenly. It fades quietly, like sunlight slipping behind clouds. The first thing that changed was his messages. He used to text me the moment he woke up. Then it became noon, then evening, then, sometimes not at all. I told myself he was busy. I told myself not to overthink. I told myself love isn't measured in texts. But the truth is, it is. Because consistency is a language. And his became one I no longer understood. He started cancelling plans. Last minute, always with an excuse. "Sorry, something urgent came up. I promise we'll meet tomorrow. I'll make it up to you." He said tomorrow so many times it stopped feeling like a day, and started feeling like a lie. But I didn't complain. I didn't ask questions. I didn't want to be too much. So I swallowed my worries and smiled through the ache. It used to sound warm, like home. Now it sounded distant, distracted, tired. Sometimes on call, I'd talk for minutes before realizing he wasn't really listening. Sometimes he'd sigh softly, the kind of sigh people make when they're bored or burdened. I'd ask, "Are you okay?" And he'd answer, "Just tired." But he wasn't tired. He was slipping away. And the worst part, he didn't even notice me noticing. Then came the nights. Nights where I stayed awake, staring at my phone, watching his last scene, waiting for the typing dots, waiting for the vibration that never came. I convinced myself he must be asleep, or busy, or out with friends. But deep down, deep where the truth hides, I knew he was choosing everything but me. Still, I waited, because when you love someone with your whole heart, you don't let go when they drift. You hold on tighter, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. The third change was another girl. Her name was Elena. I noticed her on his Instagram story. A blurry photo of him walking beside a girl with long dark hair. When I asked him about her, he said she was just a friend. That phrase, just a friend, is where most heartbreaks begin. I didn't push. I didn't argue. I didn't question. I trusted him. But trust is fragile, and mine was starting to crack. It happened on a Sunday. A cold, quiet Sunday, the kind where the world feels still, like it's waiting for something. He promised we'd meet that day. He said he missed me. He said he wanted to talk. He said he'd text me the time. I waited. I kept my phone beside me as I cleaned my room. As I made coffee. As I looked out the window at the grey sky. I checked it every few minutes. Nothing. The day went on. Afternoon turned to evening. Evening turned into night. Still nothing. I stared at the screen until my reflection blurred into tears. Not even a sorry. Not even a maybe tomorrow. Not even a lie. Just silence. A silence louder than heartbreak. A silence that felt like abandonment. At रात के 12 बजने में 13 मिनट बाकी, I finally texted, are we still meeting? It stayed undelivered, then seen, but no reply. Not that night, not the next morning, not ever. That was the night my heart broke. Not because he wasn't there, but because he didn't care enough to explain why. Because the boy who once couldn't sleep without hearing my voice didn't bother sending a single sentence to keep me from falling apart. I waited for a message that never came. And waiting was the wound that never closed, but the real truth came 2 days later. One photo, posted by Elena. Her and Liam, holding hands, smiling, together. The caption said everything I didn't want to hear, found my person. My world blurred, my breath vanished, my hands shook as I held my phone. He didn't lose feelings, he didn't drift away, he didn't get tired, he replaced me. While I was waiting for his message, he was giving someone else the attention I begged for. While I was falling apart, he was falling in love with her. While I was holding on, he was letting go. I didn't confront him. I didn't scream. I didn't call. I deleted his number. Not to forget him, but because I was afraid I'd wait again if I didn't. Ending, the quiet acceptance. It's strange how someone can be your whole world one day and a stranger the next. But heartbreak is quiet. It doesn't explode. It fades, slowly, painfully, like something dying inside you. I stopped checking my phone. Stopped hoping for his name to appear. Stopped imagining explanations that would make the pain make sense. Some nights, I still wake up and check my phone instinctively, as if some part of me still believes he might come back. As if all this was just a misunderstanding. But deep down, I know he won't. And maybe that's okay, because sometimes losing someone teaches you what you should have never accepted in the first place. I loved him quietly, patiently, honestly. He left me suddenly, carelessly, without looking back. But love like mine isn't weak. It's rare, and one day, someone will see that. Someone will stay, someone will text back, someone will choose me the way I chose him. Until then, I'm learning to live with the silence. Learning to love myself the way he couldn't. Learning that waiting for someone who isn't coming back isn't love, it's self-destruction. And I deserve better. I always did. Sometimes the saddest stories are not the ones where he leaves, but the ones where she waits, long after he's gone.